Hey guys, it's Cam here. Hope you're going good. I am. Today I'm going to do a 100-hour review on the 2021 Beta 500 RRS. This bike is flipping awesome. I love it. I've done a few reviews so far. The last one I did was at 80 hours. So a lot of the content will be similar to what I said back then. I still think it's an outstanding, amazing, versatile bike that can do a lot of different things. But there's a few things that I've done since, and a few little things that I've picked up on that you guys might find interesting. So hang in there, watch the video, and hopefully you get something out of it. And glad I could do it for you guys. So firstly, we're going to do just a quick walk around of the bike. I'll show you just slow-mo sort of thing of cruising around it. Then I'm going to pop inside because the sun's pretty bright, and I'll sit down. I've made a list of some pros and cons and the mods that I've done that I'll go through. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so this is the bike looking front on. You can see how narrow it is. It's very great for single track and getting in there and exploring, because it's basically an enduro bike, and you'd wonder why and how it could be street legal, but it is. It's awesome. But yeah, now this is the bike. You can see I've got Takomoto front fork wraps for the indicators. I've taken off the big indicators there that look like giraffe ears, so that's definitely an improvement. I've got double take mirror. I bought the set, but Nathan, my son, we've got the other one on his WR250, so I got the enduro version. But yeah, we'll just slowly go through the bike. You can see the bash plate that I've got is really good because it comes over and it protects the water pump on the other side, and then just the side of the engine casing. I've got a new clutch slave cylinder add for some protection there since before. And then we've got the Takomoto tail tidy. So here we've got the integrated indicators and tail light. So now I don't have to worry about the indicators coming off and breaking. Not so much from me falling over, but the bike actually falling over when I've been helping my sons. Just quickly show you here. So yeah, you can see there that I've done 103, nearly 104 hours, 2,072 miles on the bike. Got the shark fin. I think that was there last time. Just come through here. Yeah, so you can see on the other side here where she's got a protection from rocks and stuff coming, so you don't hit the water pump. Radiator guards, hand guards. But yeah, no, she's a nice bike. Definitely enjoy riding it. I recently put on a new rear tire. Okay guys, so now I'm going to move on inside, and we'll go through a list of things that I've made. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so yeah, we're inside now. I'll go through this list, and we'll start with looking at some of the cons. You'll notice that they're pretty minor in the scheme of things, and the pros far outweigh it, for me at least. And so I'll start with the things that I've noticed since 80 hours. We're at just over 100 now. Again, we're at 103. We've done over 2,000 miles now. We're at 2,065. One of the things that I noticed as a con, that the speedo started to be intermittent, and I realized that when I got home I always wash the bike when I get home to go over stuff, and I noticed that the way that the Speedo cable routes down in behind actually was wearing on the headlight unit, and I'll quickly show you. So what I've noticed is that the Speedo cable, as it comes up through, just after it changes into the protected cover, it was wearing on in here, and so I had to basically just get in there and reconnect it. So there's a wear point there. So if you got the beta, the 4-stroke at least, I'm not sure about the 2-stroke, just check the cable and make sure it doesn't wear. I put some shrink wrap and then insulation tape around after I connected it back on. So that was something that failed that I've fixed. I noticed here that this connection point here for the subframe onto the main frame, actually lost the whole bolt. Yeah, so one thing I recommend is that you always check your bolts, especially that subframe one. That's a pretty key one. That happened when I was on the Uray ride. I got back, I didn't notice anything while I was riding it, so I don't know when it happened, but I knew that happened during that ride because it was there when I left. But yeah, that whole bolt came out, and if I was a bit more onto it with checking the torque of the bolts, then I would have picked up on that. But just be aware on that. And another one, on my last ride I just did last week, actually, the bolts that will hold the Trailtech mount, actually I lost 2 bolts right out of the back. So I've fixed all that now. I've got a big ride coming up this weekend, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, check your bolts. It's one thing. It's probably a common thing for all bikes. You should always do it. I normally do it, but I guess I got a bit lax on it, and I had some times where things fell out. So keep up to date with your bolts and making sure they're tight. So what else have I got here? So yeah, the other thing that I've done was preventative maintenance. I changed the oil pump gears. From factory, Beta comes out with 2 plastic gears. I don't know why, because to be honest, it's not saving that much cost. Or maybe it is, but they sell a kit that you can buy that comes with a gasket and the 2 steel oil pump gears. So I replaced that about 4 hours ago. So I'm at 103 hours now. I did it about 99. And what you've got to do is you've got to take the clutch cover off and then pull off the clutch, and then you get access to the plastic gears. Now my gears were fine. There was no wear or tear or cracking or anything. But I have heard of multiple bikes where the gears have broken at around 100 hours and have caused people to have to rebuild their bikes. So that's one thing I've done. We wish that they came out with the steel gears from factory, but they don't. So if you've got a bike around 80 hours or so, definitely start be thinking about it and either do it yourself or get your dealership to do it. Now I did it myself. I'd never done it before, but I worked out what to do. I watched a few videos. There's a manual, and just went through and did it, and it was pretty straightforward. Even I could do it. So the factory battery that came with the bike failed just over a year. There was no indication that it was going to fail, and it just did, and I couldn't start it. Luckily I was at home, because yeah, I couldn't start the bike at all. One thing I didn't do is I didn't try and run start it, but I think it was dead so much that there was no electrical circuit stuff happening. I don't know. I should have tried it before I replaced it. But what I did is I bought a new battery at Loveland, the Beta dealership, and Kyle put in a request to Beta to actually get me a refund, and they did, and so I got my money back. So that was awesome. Thanks Kyle, and thanks Beta. Another con is that the stand my old Beta, I had a 2015 430 RRS, and I needed to put an aftermarket foot on that. The stands coming out now, they do have a foot, but I added one on top of it, not only to increase the surface area of the foot, but also to get a little bit of length out of the stand. Now, I guess the stand and the angle is one of the things that I really don't like about the Beta. I've had the bike fall over multiple times, and I just think maybe they just need a longer stand, maybe. With the way that the factory indicators or turn signals, I don't know what you call them over here in the US, but the flashes when you're turning, they stick out, right? And if the bike falls over, they tend to break, and that was a bit of a frustration thing that I had. So we've fixed that now, which I'll get into a bit later. Oh, you would have seen when I was outside, I've got the Takomoto integrated turn signal and rear light, and I've got the LED wraps on the forks, so I don't have that issue now. But yeah, the stand and the stand angle, the length of it, and the foot is something that I just don't like, but it's really minor, I guess. It's not the end of the world. Water and the connections, I know that after you wash the bike and you ride, I've had to put a Ziploc bag over the Trail Tech because it goes all funny, and I wish that would be better. And with the Trail Tech as well, the little dust cap that goes on it, that goes over the SD card, the micro SD card, that tends to not stay on there, so I'm always keeping an eye on that because I don't want dust and dirt and crap going in there. The headlight brightness, it's not that flash, to be honest. In my last video, if those that watch it, you'll see there, my friend Eric, he's got an LED set up on his KTM. It's awesome. My one puts mine to shame, but the new bikes from 2022, I believe, come with an LED light from factory, and there are aftermarket options, either the headlight itself or the bulb that you can purchase. On the clutch side, another thing to be aware, hopefully you guys can see, but in here, I'll just get a light actually. So you can see that black bolt there in here. That is not an indicator for the level of the clutch oil. And on the other side, you've got the glass viewing window. Again, it's not really a good indicator of the level of oil. At least the glass, you can see if there's oil in there. But for both sides, just measure the oil that you put in. 750 mils is what they recommend on both sides. So don't use the little hole on the clutch side or the window to make sure you got the right amount of oil. The low temp switch that I put in, it was a factory one from Beta. It failed, and that was a bit of a pain because I was on a nice little trip in Utah doing some single track, and the bike was overheating and I had to keep stopping to cool the bike down. Now let me just turn that light off in the background. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, the low temp switch failed. Beta were really good. They actually sent me a replacement, no questions asked, and I put that in there, and so that was good. I'm guessing it's a minimal thing that doesn't happen very often. So yeah, the support from Beta has been really good. Another con would be the charcoal canister, and so definitely recommend that if you're in a state where you don't have to have it for legal reasons, remove it. When I got the bike, there was some sort of pressure thing going on where the bike wasn't getting fuel, and I was up in the mountains and the bike would stall and stop and I couldn't start it, and it was a pain. So definitely remove the charcoal canister, all that emission stuff. If you can, get rid of it. The bike's been going great, and that was on the first real ride I did when I was doing sort of braking where it happened. So got rid of that and it's been sweet. The factory mirrors that they come with the foldable mirrors. Initially on my 430 I never had any problems, but I guess I've been riding on a lot more rockier areas now, and they keep getting loose and sort of moving out of position, and you think, well, why do you need the mirror when you're riding off-road like that? And I do it for a couple of reasons, because I can easily see people behind me, but then also I run the GoPro in a chin mount and I can keep glancing to see if I'm recording or not, so I like having the mirror. So what I've done is I've gone for the double take mirrors, which I'll talk about in some of the things that I've added to the bike, but those are great. It's like a ram mount, they don't move, which is good. The seat is hard. That's probably pretty obvious to folks. And I do a lot of standing, so I don't really mind too much, but when I'm doing the big adventure rides, definitely at the end of the day my butt is a bit sore, and because it's really hard. So my bike, you'll see, has got the bigger tank and stuff, so I do a lot of adventure rides. So the longer day rides is something that I'm really interested in, so I may get a better seat at some point, but at the moment that's what it is. So I'm not really complaining about the seat. Its seat's fine, but for me, I think I might get a bigger one. I mean a softer one, like a what do they call the Seat Concepts one. I might look at that. When I first got the bike, when I put the radiator guards in, the one on the left hand side, I had to re-tap one of the bolts, which was a bit random for a brand new bike, having to re-tap, but luckily I had a tap and it wasn't a non-issue, but something that I didn't expect to have to do. The indicators and blinkers, as I said before, are very wide and they tend to break easily. So that's really the list of the cons. So pretty minor stuff really. Just check, and what I'd say now is just pay more attention to loose bolts, and there's that wear point for the Speedo cable, and the bolts that hold the Trailtech Voyager display on, just check those, they might be loose. Okay guys, so we'll get into the pros. The first thing on my list here is that it's got a Kickstart option that you can add on after the fact. So it doesn't come factory with a Kickstart, but you've got the ability, if you want one, to put a Kickstart in. What I've done instead of that so far is I carry a battery jump start kit for when I'm really remote and I'm by myself. So just in case the battery dies again, I'll have the ability to start the bike and keep going, especially if I'm in a place where I can't run start it, like if I'm right down in a hole or something and I don't want to push the bike up. They're really reliable. I've never really had any issues where I've been in any situations where the bike's let me down, touch wood. Hopefully that continues, but yeah, they are reliable bikes, and I would totally recommend a beta to anybody, and I am and I will be over time buying more betas. I can't get enough of them. They're awesome bikes and they look good too. The bike's got a few things to make accessibility easy. Like you can move the seat with one button and just pull the seat off. You can get at the air filter easy. To pulling the covers off, just a couple of little snaps and she's off, and then the whole way that the air filter gets in and out is very easy, and it's great. It's perfect, especially because yeah, I always clean my air filter regularly, and it's just quick and easy. And another easy access is that to get the light assembly off and get in the back there, it's just there's the little rubber mounts that you can just undo and it pops off. So again, very easy. The bike, the 500, is it's got so much low down torque. It's awesome, and the clutch in it, even though it's not the newer one which has got the newer diaphragm clutch, for me just a one finger clutch. It's torquey, you can just tractor up stuff, it climbs like a mountain goat. It's really good, and it's got power to burn when you need it. So so glad I decided to go with the 500 for the type of riding I do when I'm by myself. It's just so torquey, and you can just tractor up stuff. It's awesome. It's got very smooth power delivery as well, and I think betas are renowned for the rideability, and you really need to ride one to really appreciate it. It's got so much smooth power delivery, I should say. It does have a mapping switch. There's a wet mode and a sun mode, and it does make a difference. The wet mode does bog it down a bit. It's good if you're in slippery conditions and stuff. I've tried it out a couple of times, but I don't use it. I just stay in the sun mode, which works for me. But there's an option there, right? If you're a little bit tentative and you want it to be toned down a bit, you can easily do that. They've made some changes to the bikes since my last beta. So I had a 2015 430, and it was renowned, and it was a pain because they used to get a lot of side slap, and now there's actually a guide, so you don't get any of that. So that's good. And they've also angled the exhaust output, which you can definitely see it's an add-on and it's sort of after the fact, but they've sort of diverted the exhaust air off to the side so you don't hit your or melt your indicators. But that's not a problem now because I've got the Taco Moto set up on the back. So but they were a couple of good little things that they've changed. There's lots of aftermarket accessories available now for the betas, so there's all sorts of things that you can get to pimp up your ride. The dealers are awesome. There's a great community of beta riders. Everyone's helpful and friendly. The beta themselves are very good. So if you're worrying about, oh, it's a beta, there's not many of them, well, there's actually quite a few of them out there, and the network is really good, and the dealers are really good, and beta themselves look after you. It's the brakes, really good brakes, no issues with stopping power there. The bike, other than the protective things that I've added, like the bash plate and the hand guards and the radiator guards, the bike is stock. Like, I haven't changed any of the ECU, I haven't put aftermarket exhausts or header pipes. What you get in suspension wise, it's solid, man, and it's plenty ample, good enough for you. Like, what you get is a high quality, powerful bike, and in the US there's still less regulations on beta, so they sort of go under the radar a little bit, and you actually get a more powerful stock bike than, say, the KTM. But again, like with KTM, there's so many things you can do to really crank those up as well. But with stock, I think they're at a higher level than other stock bikes. So if you want to buy something that's solid, that you don't have to mess with, beta's a good choice. Fuel injection and the way it handles elevation changes. So I like riding all up in the mountains, right? And I'm at about 5,600 feet. I can go and ride at 13,000 feet and have no issues. So the fuel injection and the fuel delivery is awesome. I love it. And you're not having to worry about altitude, which is cool, especially when you live in Colorado. It comes with a 15 tooth front sprocket and a 48 tooth on the back. Now it also comes in the box with a 13 tooth. Now for the types of riding I do, I run with the 13 tooth on the front. You can still travel around 60 miles an hour fine, and you've got power, you can just go and pass, and it doesn't rev up too high or anything. But yeah, I run the 13 tooth and I love it. It's good that they give you both. The chain on it is very good. That comes from factory. I've changed my chain. I did it about 80 hours. But so the chain that ships with the bike, again, you get a good factory bike and the chain included and the sprockets. The looks great. They do look really nice, the betas. Another one there is that the bike is light, and for me an adventure is a ride where you can go and ride wherever you want to, and you're not limited by the weight of the bike or the bike being too big. So for me, for the type of riding I do, I ride by myself a lot. I like to know that I've got the confidence to get in to places, and if I need to just lift the bike around or whatever, I can. So for me, having a light bike is awesome. Now everyone likes different things. Some people won't like the style of riding I do, and going really some rocky stuff and getting up into some steep high mountain area stuff, but I like that. Doesn't mean I don't like the other style of riding, but for me, having one bike, the 500, the Beta, is a good compromise. It's very versatile. I can do basically anything. I've got it with a bigger tank and stuff, so I can do adventure rides. I can go and ride single track, all sorts of stuff. So for me, it's a great bike where I can do multiple things, and it doesn't do everything perfect, but for me, it's a good mix to do whatever I want. Now, I guess, so what are the mods that I've done on the bike? And then we'll close it out. So the Takomoto rear tail tidy with integrated turn signal and rear brake light, and the fork wraps makes the bike look awesome. It gets rid of those nasty looking indicators and stuff, so that's been a really good mod there. I've got the radiator guards for protection, especially if you drop the bike sideways, you don't put pressure on the radiator. And with that, on my 430, I had like a 5-gallon IMS tank, and I had issues with this stuck out so wide that if I did fall over, it put so much pressure on the radiator guards, so in the radiator itself. So this time I went with the IMS 3.5-gallon tank, so it doesn't make the bike go wide, and with the radiator guards, I know I'm nice and protected there if I fall off. Now with the 3.5-gallon tank, I can get around 130 miles, which is 209 kilometers, and I've still got gas in there. I've never hit the fuel light, has never come on. This weekend I'm actually doing a big BDR ride, Colorado backcountry discovery route ride. I'm doing section 4 and half of section 3 in reverse. Now it's about 230 odd miles, so I'm going to have to fuel up, but I'm going to sort of see how far I can go, so I'm looking forward to that. I've got the Exerby front disc guard. I've got a shark fin on the back, so both of them there is to protect the rotors for rocks. I've got a clutch slave cylinder guard that you would have saw in the video to help with if any rocks click up on that. I've got the handguards as well. Again, just protection. So most of the things I've added is protection, really. I've got the bash plate with linkage guard. Now that's done by Enduro Engineering, so I'm really happy with that. I've got NewTek tubeless in the rear, where I had tubeless in the front, but I had an issue and I've gone back to a tube. But the rear with the NewTek system's been awesome. I got a flat tire going up Poughkeepsie Gulch a couple of years ago, before I had the tubeless system in it, and I have never had a flat since, so that's pretty cool. I've got a heavy duty tube on the front that I run the Green Chili Adventure soft luggage rack that I put on the back. That's been really good because it's easily, you can just pull it off and you're back to a basic enduro bike, so it's awesome. The low temp switch that I put on the radiator to try and keep the temperature down when I'm doing the slow moving single track stuff. The double take enduro mirror. Now I've only got half of it set because Nathan's got the other one. I mentioned as well, it's not a mod for the bike, but I do carry a jump starter kit when I'm on trips by myself, when I'm going really remote. I put the stand foot on the stand to give a bit more surface area to stop it digging in, and also I added it to the existing one just to try and get a little bit more length because I don't like the stand. You would have heard that. I have balanced the wheels, so when I am riding on the road you're not getting the vibration and stuff, so it's really balanced. One of the things that actually got the quad lock with vibration mount for the phone on the handlebars. It's great because you can easily just take the phone off, take a photo, selfie, put it back on it and go, and then you can run your phone up on the front as well, knowing that it's not going to vibrate to bits. I am going to put a USB power supply up onto the handlebars. I haven't done that yet. Probably going to try and do it before my ride this weekend. Some of the things that I'm thinking about doing, I'm not sure if I'm going to do them, but is a LED headlight assembly to replace the whole light, or I might put the LED bulb, and there's one that you can buy off the Beta website, betausa.com. If anyone's got any tips or recommend upgrade light upgrade kit or anything, let me know please, because I'm sort of humming and hawing of what I'm going to do there with my light, because when we rode last week, we came back in the dark and my light was crap. So definitely looking to upgrade that. Now I don't ride a lot in the dark, but if you are in a situation where you have to, having a better light is safer, so something I'm thinking about. I am thinking about adding and removing the thermostat and putting in some Samco silicon radiator hoses just to help get the flow of coolant, to keep the temperatures down a bit. I've found that I don't think I need it, but I'm sort of wondering if I do or not, so that's why I haven't done it yet, but it's on my wish list. And then again, like I mentioned before, the seat concept seat is another thing on my nice to have list that I may or may not do. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and you took something out of it. They are great bikes with great support from the dealers, the riding community, and Beta themselves. And I love these bikes, and if you guys are wondering, give it a go, man. Try them out. Even go and try the demo days and stuff, or rent one and try it and feel that rideability and that smooth power. So take it easy. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you out on the trail. I'm going on the Colorado backcountry discovery route, just part of it, this weekend, so stay tuned for that, and take it easy, and we'll see you out on the trail soon.